This is Olivia Stacey of the United Nations Forces Public Affairs Office. The date is January 7, 2072. Today, the United Nations Forces, under the joint leadership of the United States of America and the Russian Federation, struck the international terrorist group known as the Silencers, based in an abandoned, warrior Russian base near Mascara, Colombia. The Silencers, claiming their name upon the 1st International Battalion's unit who fell mysteriously to General Howard Brakis during the 20-year war in the Gobi Desert, China, have repeatedly rejected negotiations for their surrender between the UN under the UN Security Council, its member states, and their group. The standoff comes after the arrest of the Colombian President Jacob Arias for supporting a terrorist plot against the United States of America, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, the Swiss Confederation, the Republic of Kenya and the Eastern Republic of Uruguay. U.S. Rear Admiral David Schmitz aboard the USS Spitzer, the U.S. Southern Command's surface warfare flagship, stated, the campaign against the Silencers will be prolonged and sustained. We have enough after the attack against our embassy in Bogota, Colombia's capital. We have enough of the aggressive rhetoric by the Silencers against our peoples. It's only less than 2 years since the 20-year war, and the Silencers are attempting to bring us back down into the abyss. No more. We won't back down from these demands that amount to a symbol of tyranny. We will protect our peoples, and that of our allies. The general leading the UN Forces operation, Canadian General Arnold Armstrong III, added, the Silencers struck us first, violating multiple articles in the UN Charter, from Article 1 Section 1 to almost half of Article 2, Sections 1, 2, 3, and 4. Furthermore, the group has been designated a multinational terrorist organization due to the recorded misuse of funds not to promote peace and prosperity as they claim, but to harm civilians, gain profits, and corrupt nations under the weight of their multi-level marketing, MLM, power. This is not a multinational mercenary force like Alpha Corps Incorporated. This is a terrorist network. And so, under the authorization of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 3901, 4802, and 5603 of the Rebuilding Accords, we are responding in force and are seizing all Silencer assets worldwide in the interest of defending our peoples. The Silencers, founded and led by now-imprisoned CEO, Martin Scott Beasley, is a multi-level marketing organization which prided itself on claims of quickly rebuilding cities and providing private security across the earth. However, investigations by both private YouTube creators, investigative journalists, and later, official governments, discovered the group's intentions for corruption, terrorist activities under multiple nations, and an illicit arms race of hoarding warrior weapons. The latest stage of escalations come following several court orders from both individual nation-states like the United States, as well as the implementation of UNSC Resolutions 5603 and the reactivation of pre-war Resolutions 3901 and 4802. This comes only 3 days after a Silencer Sovereignty-class missile destroyer opened fire on a UNF patrol boat, the Oliver Perry-class frigate, UNF Prince, off the coast of Trinidad and Tobago, crippling the ship and killing 10 sailors, including Captain Lawrence Thomas, injuring 30 others. The UNF Prince was instructed by UNF First Fleet to inspect the destroyer for compliance, after approaching the Trinidad and Tobago coastline, which was unauthorized by the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. For more information about this and more, please visit www.unitednationsforcespublicaffairsoffice.mil. Meanwhile, in response to Silencer claims about the organization paying tribute to the 123rd Princeton Silencers International Battalion's unit, the 20 Years' War or 20-Year War Worldwide Veterans Association condemned the claims as false and unrepresentative of the International Battalion's organization and the 20-Year War. In this, former Supreme Allied Commander of all forces on Earth, SACAFE, General Samantha Johnson Wellington, stated, we distance ourselves as greatly as possible from the Silencers Corporation and conglomerate. They don't represent us, our values, or what we fought for. They rather represent themselves, and their actions speak for themselves. Furthermore, former United States of America Secretary of State, Hugo Enar Havian-Waver stated, what the silencers are doing is abhorrent. We've already begun the process of rebuilding our world from the devastation of the war. Billions are dead, many orphans line the streets, and our economies have been shattered. Although the Republic of Red Dawn from Mars and the Asteroid Belt Coalition are supporting us in this rebuilding effort, we only have half of the asteroids in orbit capable of bringing new materials and ore down to Earth to be converted to rebuilding our world. The recent actions by the silencers, going back to around 9 months ago, don't just hurt us, but also hurt our off-world allies, who, by the gesture of their goodwill, desire our healing and regrowth, not our destruction. The silencers' actions amount to nothing less than taking food from a baby. I absolutely condemn the silencer MLM Terra-Military Corporation and their supporters for turning our opportunities of rebuilding into an opportunity to scam, kill and turn against others. This must be stopped. It is common sense that it must be stopped. For more political and governmental updates, please visit the UN and UN Member States Unified News Portal at www.unrenew.org. This finishes the United Nations Public Affairs Office section regarding UN breaking news updates.